want to call this public hearing to order. If you would please stand with me for a word of prayer and we'll get started. Come God our Father, once again, and we bow in our presence, thanking thee for all the good and perfect gifts thou hast bestowed upon us. Our Father, we ask that you bless each and every one that's in attendance tonight, not only the ones in attendance, but everybody in this entire world. Our Father, we ask that you be with us as we try to conduct the business of the county, get in our minds that we may make the right decisions. Our Father, and we'll be so careful to give you all the honor, glory, and praise. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. Amen. First of all, let me welcome each and every one of you here tonight. Good crowd tonight. Always glad to see that the people show up when we have these type of things that come before the board. Before we get started, just one announcement to the board. I presented all of our rezone requests to the Board of Commissioners. All of them were accepted, as we had recommended, except for one. And the one was not a rezone request, but it was a request to reword the livestock. And that was turned down. They approved it. We denied it. They approved it 4-1. That's not a surprise, but I tried to tell them or try to present to them why we made the decision that we made. And it was taken very well. And they asked us to proceed with some of the concerns that we had, and I'll address that at the end of the public hearings tonight. With that, that's basically all I have. I'd like for the board members to introduce themselves to the ones in attendance tonight and the area that you represent. Starting on my left, Gabby.
Good evening, Bruce Gandy, District 5.
Good evening, Cynthia Fortune, District 3.
Lee Mitchell, District 2.
And William Smith, District 4.
Melissa Payne, zoning clerk. Tracy Patrick, zoning administrator.
Of course, we have our attorney with us tonight, Mr. Pruitt. And absent tonight will be Kenneth Bradley. I believe he's in District 3? No, 1. District 1. District 1. All right, as we begin our public hearing, I have some things that I have to address or read to you tonight before we get started. As the first order of business, I am required to read a few statements regarding the zoning process. If you have questions, I will address them once I finish. Zoning directly affects private property rights, which include the rights of the property owner to enjoy or to use their property, and the right of adjacent owners and the general public not to be unreasonably harmed by specific land use. Tonight is the first of 2 public hearings. A second public hearing will be held before the Board of Commissioners on, somebody help me out with that, what day is that? On October the 6th at 6 p.m. at this location. Attendance is not required, but your attendance is recommended. Order of business. As to the order of business tonight, I will introduce the applicant, and then the zoning administrator will give her comments. Then the applicant will come forward, state their name and address, and state their reason for their request. You may provide information or documentation supporting the application. Next, the Planning and Zoning Commission will have the opportunity to ask the applicant questions. Next, I will open the floor for public comment. Ample time will be given to those that may want to speak for or in opposition to the rezone request. All comments will be addressed to the commission and not to others in attendance. No personal attacks will be allowed. Next, the applicant will be allowed ample time to rebut any concerns expressed by other speakers. At this junction, no other comments will be allowed except by the board. Then I will open a special session of the Planning and Zoning Commission. And I will ask for a motion to approve, deny, or approve with conditions. The recommendation will be presented to the Board of Commissioners. They will have the final decision. Does any member of the Planning and Zoning need to recuse themselves for any request tonight? Hearing none. We will move into the public hearing, and number one, John, and please excuse me if I mispronounce your name. Are you here? If you could push.
Good evening, Madison, John.
Okay, attorney for Vertical Bridge. Applicant for property owner Lynn Norton. Ms. Patton,
Okay,
please come forward.
all right, so, she is the property owner for, she is the applicant for property owner Lynn Norman, and is requesting a conditional use to allow a 265-foot telecommunications tower to be placed on the 25.08 acre property. Property is located at 8397 Highway 172 in Comer on map 93, parcel 046 in District 4.
Welcome.
Good evening.
All right, please address the board as to what you are asking for tonight.
Yes. Good evening, I'm Madison, John, 935 Main Street, Suite C4, Safety Harbor, Florida 34695. And I'm coming on behalf of Vertical Bridge and T-Mobile today to request the approval of a 265-foot tall cell phone tower to support T-Mobile's antennas. And basically what they're trying to do is provide signal that is strong enough to be used in car and in home along the County Road 172 corridor. I have a PowerPoint presentation, if I may bring that up. I have base information just about the property. If we could go down to the next slide. So the parcel that you see, you can see the yellow line, and I am pointing with my finger, which I was taught never to do. My mentor told me nobody wants to see you point your finger. Anyway, so you can see Highway 172, and you can see our parent property with a blue arrow applied to it. The landlord's house, Ms. Norman's, is right over here to the west, the next property over, and there's chicken coops off to the west. This property is kind of a dell. It's a lower area, and it's a cow pasture. The other thing, if we can go forward, you'll also notice that on the north and the east sides, because there's houses off to the east, there are mature trees there. And then down the property, you have the fire station, or you have a fire station. Just to orient us. Keep going. And this is just a closer view. This is a lattice type tower. You have them in your county. This shows one with all the antennas on it, but basically it just has 3 posts and they're cross braced. Please proceed down to 8. This is just the site plan that's on your file and just shows that this will meet the code required separation. Also, the nearest houses are located let me get my exact number, but you're looking at 492 to the north, and I believe over 600 to the east. So you're looking at 2 times what your code would require. Let's go down to the RF slides here to get to the point. One thing that there is required is you can see T-Mobile's antennas would be at the top. Your code does require tower sharing, so that way you don't end up with situations like you might have along the example I always think is on the Buford Highway in Atlanta, where you have 4 towers alongside each other. Everyone has their own. It is designed to be shared. Let's keep going down several slides. I do have photo simulations if you want to see them. But let me get to the right here, 19, please. So this shows T-Mobile's coverage. And you can see these circles with pie-shaped pieces. Those are T-Mobile's towers in the area. So just to orient us, right where I'm trying to read through the coverage here. But you have up to the north is Bowman, off to the west is Danielsville, and down to the south is Comer. Red means it works everywhere. Blue means you have very poor coverage, okay? And when you don't have that, it's so low that there's signal out there, but it doesn't really register. You can see our proposed site. Next, please. And you can see the proposed coverage here. So it goes up to approximately the outskirts of Bowman, the outskirts of Harrington, down to Comer, and halfway to Danielsville. About County Road 191 is my approximation. And this is just a closer view. This shows in-vehicle coverage, so using it in your car. And these are just additional bands. T-Mobile they use a variety of frequencies, and basically the idea is there's some that can stretch out farther but can't take a lot of traffic. There's some that can reach real close. They can't go far, but they can take traffic, and so they're trying to use everything that they have to cover as much as they can with one tower, so that way they don't need additional ones. One last thing I do want to bring your attention to is slide 25. This is called Starlink data. And this actually takes, sorry.
Nope, that's
so this actually takes measured connection strengths from different devices connecting to T-Mobile's network and says, what's the strength? You might know from driving out there, I mean, I have Verizon, but I was having a hard time maintaining calls and connections and stuff. But basically, the color coding, and this is all in what they call negative dBms, it sounds below 0. The red is where you have poor connections. As you come down to Comer, you have stronger connections. There's a tower down there. You head off towards Danielsville, you have stronger connections. So it's not just T-Mobile guessing at this. It's basically the process is that they see that they have problems. People might file complaints with them. Then they look at it. They see, can we upgrade any of our towers or co-locate on any towers? And there's one is 2¼ miles to the northwest, so it's a little bit too far away, and it also isn't really designed to support antennas. And then if you don't have any tall structures, obviously not out here, but any towers to co-locate upon, then you have to go down this path, which is the path of greatest scrutiny. So with that, I am available for any questions that you may have. I'm trying to not, I apologize if I sound rushed. I know you got a full agenda after me, so I'm trying to not hog it all up.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Any questions from the board?
When you speak of other towers, you're just speaking of other T-Mobile towers, not other companies that you might rent space from?
No, sir. There's actually the nearest tower that's owned by anyone that shows up on any maps is located 2¼ miles to the northwest. So T-Mobile, basically the way that it works, because you heard me say the applicant was Vertical Bridge, they're a company that all they do is they own and they manage towers. Just like how there's companies that out there, all they do is they own and they manage shopping centers or whatnot. T-Mobile will actually, they would rather lease on an existing tower if they can use it than ask a company to go build one for them.
good there.
I see your towers, closer to, I guess, the road, and maybe in the center or back. Is there a reason because of the diagram or the way the land is, or?
Yes, if we can go backwards to my aerials, and I can avoid pointing. Yeah, this will work right here. You can see that right here you have lowlands that are wooded. They look kind of marshy from posting the sign. And also we're trying to maintain that 100% setback. You might be able to get right above that.
Yeah, I was looking at that other clearing.
But when you think about that, you know, your neighboring property owners to the west, you're just making them closer. So this shows a bit of sensitivity being on this side. Either way, it doesn't really change much from the build-out perspective. We did ask property owner about that, and she would prefer that we didn't do it. Just.
What would you need to set back if it was a little bit further back in that little clearing area?
Let me grab my plan. Educated guess, most likely. So, again, you are moving further north and closer to the next property owner. So, for example, you've got a house there, so we do try to keep distance if possible.
Okay, any additional questions? Just for curiosity, how many towers, actual towers, does T-Mobile have here in Madison County? Not add-on, but just actual towers.
I don't have that number. But the answer is very few because T-Mobile doesn't own very many towers anymore.
Okay. Any other questions?
I didn't notice this in the paperwork. This doesn't breach conservation. It is in conservation.
The lease area is not part of conservation, but no.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, this time we will open the public hearing. Is there anyone here that would like to speak for this particular rezone request? Anyone in attendance wants to speak for this particular rezone request? Hearing none, is there anyone here that wants to speak in opposition to this particular rezone request? Anyone want to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board. And I will entertain a motion to approve, to deny, or to approve with conditions.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve as presented.
We have a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
We have a second. Did I hear a second?
Yes, sir.
Okay. A motion to approve and a second. Any questions or comments? If not, Mr. Gandy? Yes.
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 All right, this particular rezone request has been approved by this board. We will present our recommendation to the Board of Commissioners on October 6th, I believe it was. And you do not have to be present, but I strongly recommend that you do.
I will be, sir, and thank you to the board for your time.
Thank you. All right, moving on, Dan Loring.
And he is requesting to rezone 5 acres from his from A1 to AR to allow a second home to be placed on the property as an accessory dwelling unit for his daughter. The property is located at 608 Stella Henley Road in Danielsville on map 37, parcel 94-01A in District 2.
All right, Laurie?
Yes. Hello.
Hi, how are you, sir?
Thank you. Good, thank you. Yes, I'm Dan Loring. I reside at 608 Stella Henley Road. We, as said, we have 5 acres with a house and a barn, and we're requesting this rezone so that we can convert the barn to an accessory dwelling unit. The plan is for our daughter Emma and her husband Jacob and their 2 young children to reside there. We also own property that wraps around it, 18 acres. Our eventual plan is to rezone that and cut that into 3 lots. Emma and Jacob will be building a home there next year or the following year. We have 2 sons who are in the Marine Corps. We are hoping that we're going to leave the other 2 lots for them and hope that when they retire from the Marine Corps, they'll come back and build homes here as well. I respectfully request that you approve our request.
All right, sir. Any questions for Mr. Laurie from the board?
Can I ask, what's the estimate size of your home right now?
The size of our home?
Yeah.
Heated square feet is about 1,700 square feet, including the garage and porches. It's about 2,800 square feet.
So your barn is?
It's 1,296 square feet.
Will you be adding on to the barn, or are you just going to?
No, we're just planning to enclose the barn.
Okay. Any additional questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
At this point, we will open the public hearing. Is there anyone here who wants to speak for this rezone request? In favor? Hearing none, is there anyone who wants to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept as presented.
A motion to accept as presented.
Second.
Have a second? Any questions or comments? Cindy?
Yes.
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 All right, Ms. Loring, this board, will recommend to the Board of Commissioners that they approve this particular rezone request. And there will be a second public hearing, at the Board of Commissioners meeting, and again, you do not have to be present, but I recommend that you do.
Thank you.
All right, moving on, number 3. Again, I'm terrible with names, so y'all have to forgive me. Matt Pluma, applicant, owner for Wednesday's Investments.
And he is requesting a conditional use for the 5-acre property to allow the operation of a transfer station on the property. Property is located at 0 Business Drive in Hull on map 46, parcel 49-05 in District 3.
All right, sir. Please come forward.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Matthew DePalma. I gave you all this packet right here tonight. If you want to look through it as we go, talk about this for a minute. Appreciate you taking the time to hear me. My name is Matthew DePalma. I'm the owner of AAA Sanitation and College Pro Landscaping. I started those companies in the late 90s and moved them to Madison County in 2008 into the Industrial Authority at 79 Business Drive is where we operate now, and have been proud to be part of the community and all. I am requesting a conditional use permit for the lot across the street, which is located at 0 Business Drive. This parcel is approximately 5 acres in that area for building of a transfer station. What is a transfer station? Transfer station is a three-sided facility with a cement floor that municipal solid waste, MSW, which is considered household waste, is temporarily collected and consolidated before being transported to its final destination, typically a landfill, recycling center, or waste energy plant. It is a centralized hub for solid waste management systems, improving efficiency and reducing transportation costs, and minimizing the environmental footprint of waste hauling operations. The transfer station building will be approximately 150 by 150. The main entrance will be off of Business Drive. The entire perimeter will be fenced and screened. Approximately 2 to 6 employees running the operations depending as needed, and will be open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4:30. Just to clarify how a transfer station works, trucks come in, they back into the building, they dump out their material, then a machine, a loader, picks that material up and puts it into a tractor trailer, which is a walking floor trailer, and then it is hauled to a landfill. Now, our closest landfill right now for that waste is Homer. Clark County is your closest landfill to Madison County, but Clark County will not accept your waste. And they're getting so stringent over there now that they are breaking open bags. And if we show that we're bringing trash from Madison County, they will actually ban our trucks from coming to their facilities. Now, we can take recycling items to the center, but that is run by a private third party, but we cannot take trash. So right now, we are having to haul all the trash that comes from Madison County to Jackson County Transfer Station, which is a really nice facility, but it is a 40-minute ride one way by trucks, one way, one direction, or down to Monroe, all the way down to Walmart Distribution. I don't know if y'all are aware where that is, off of 78. That's the only other place that we can take it, or truck it all the way to Homer. But Homer is the, is the longest distance for us to all haul it. So all the haulers in the area don't have anywhere to take any of the trash that goes from Madison County. This is not a landfill by any means. This is a transfer station. If you look on your next page, there is a picture of what a facility would look like. On the far right side, you can see the opening there. That shows that's where the tractor trailer would pull in there. You, as citizens, it would be open to the general public as well as other waste haulers. The truck would pull in there. You would come across the scale. You get weighed in. You dump your material inside one of those bays, and then the tractor trailer goes right here, in this area right here. We push the trash over into the trailer pulls out, the next one pulls in as it goes. That trailer will be completely full as before it pulls out. Now, Madison County currently has a transfer station. It is located down, I have the exact address, I don't know if any of you have ever been to it lately, but I did get word that you guys were you would accept trash from companies like mine. And when I went down there and started talking to everybody, I was told by commissioners here, oh no, we'd love to have your money, please support the community. I said, okay. They said, well, how many tons of trash will you bring me? I said, well, we'll bring you like 300 tons. They said, in a month? I said, no, like in a week. And they said, oh my gosh, no, we can't do that. We don't, that's about as what we do in an entire month. And your facility is outdated completely. It doesn't even have this at all. You back up to a tractor trailer down there and open it, and it can blow all around and everything. It pours out into the trailer, and then they move it with a little machine. If it's full, you have to wait. I have checked with the EPD. There is no conflict whatsoever on this facility being built in this industrial zone at all. Any wastewater that would come from the trucks dumping out would go into what's called a cistern system, which means it just goes down into the ground into a big container, and that gets pumped out as it gets full and hauled off to a wastewater treatment plant. I appreciate your time, and I'm asking for this conditional use permit.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. Any questions for the, again?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You mentioned household waste, essentially. Would this also be able to take construction materials, for example, like pressure-treated wood?
No, sir. There will be no construction. It's strictly municipal solid waste. So in the world of trash, different landfills, you have what's called a C&D landfill. and then you have what's called an MSW landfill. MSW landfill has a liner in the bottom of it. So we would only be able to take that. Your closest C&D landfill right now was Oglethorpe, but Oglethorpe is just about out of space, so everybody's having to take everything to Walton County down there to Highway 78, but we would not be able to take any construction waste. We are working, if we did get approval, with RDS out of Athens here, who runs the recycling center, about opening up, once we were up and running, to have a spot for people to bring their recycling in there, and it would be open to the general public.
Cynthia?
Well, now you brought something up, I have a question, but I had a concern before. You brought up the, stating that you would have, how much waste?
300 tons.
Okay, so I'm wondering, is that an estimate, or how did you come with that number? Why is our county's transfer station not getting that much waste from the whole county, and where would you get that much waste from?
Okay, so we operate garbage trucks. I own AAA Sanitation as well, okay, the garbage company. So each truck, on an average, daily holds anywhere from 8 to 13 tons of trash.
Oh, so your garbage trucks will also be dumping?
Yes, my garbage
okay.
trucks as well as other garbage trucks.
Oh, okay, I thought it was.
Right now.
Okay, I just thought it was just your county, you were collecting county trash.
Right, but that is, I mean, that's approximately what we bring from the county in a period of a week.
So you don't do any other county?
Oh, I do other counties
Okay,
too,
so
yes,
you
ma'am.
would bring
Yeah, I
their
would be able to
waste
bring other stuff too,
Okay.
yes, from any of my operations.
Yeah, I was wondering how you get so much waste in you. But anyway, my concern is because I live in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And I went down there and looked at the site. But my concern is, and I don't know, do you live over there? You over there much?
I'm there every day, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Well, you know those trains.
The what?
Those trains, sometimes those trains will block that track for hours.
They have gotten a lot better about that, I'll be honest with you, even to the point of uncoupling. We have been calling them and all, and recently they have been uncoupling or even stopping after or beforehand. I mean, that would just have to be a timing thing for the trucks to get in and out. If a trailer can't be pulled out of there until, we'll have enough room on the site to hold trailers, and nothing will be left on the ground. So we can hold a trailer that is full until the train is gone.
Okay, so my next concern is, so you're not going to use those back roads then?
No.
Because those back roads are not used for.
Well, we're already taking our garbage trucks down the back roads to pick up trash every
But
day.
you're talking about tractor.
Right, tractor trailers would have to go out through the tracks.
Yeah, so that means you wouldn't be keeping anything possibly overnight. Because sometimes those trains are there for a long time.
Yeah, I agree. If it is overnight, it will be inside the trailer. It will not be on the ground because it is a fire hazard on the ground. And to combat fire hazards, what we do is we put up thermal camera systems. I even met with the fire department and all. And these thermal cameras scan at all times. So if it shows any kind of heat, it triggers a fire alarm, and the fire department, nobody has to be on site for that.
Okay. So if they're hazardous material, you're not taking them?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
But when you mix up trash, I'm just going to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know,
When
that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
You could have a fire. You
Yeah,
don't
you
know
can
it's
have a fire no
fire.
matter what.
But
People
you
put all
have-
kinds of stuff in trash.
But you have this
Yes, ma'am.
in the device on the property that will detect that.
Yes, ma'am. It's a company called Fleur Cameras, and they're very popular, and it's a very high use of product. And we don't want the facility to burn down. And the object is that that's why we would close at 4:30 every day, is so that the material could be in the trailers and tarped.
Will you transfer all your material for Homer?
Yes, sir. Well, that's the plan. That's up for negotiation, but Homer would probably be the #1 place it would go. It's the largest regional landfill in the area right now, operated by Waste Management.
Does your company pick up from cities or just rural?
We've been doing the city of Homer for about 15 years now, as well as all over Madison County. We're just south of Danielsville because the city contract of Danielsville, but the rest of the county, we pretty much are operating all the way throughout.
All right.
what is the volume that you're anticipating with this facility? I mean, I understand you talked about yours, but how many trucks are you thinking that are gonna be on premises or have the potential to be on premises overnight?
Well, there wouldn't be any truck, if there was any trailers that were, right, if it was a trailer overnight, probably 2 at the most is what we would anticipate at the end, if we couldn't get them out from the, when the trailer fills, the truck leaves right out. They use a third-party hauling company, and that company comes in, they park their truck, they wanna get full as quick as possible. Your current transfer station, you're disconnecting and all, we would have an extra trailer on site, so that if the other truck wasn't back already, we would be able to put a trailer in there.
So the trailers are waste management, it's not necessarily
No,
your.
that's correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And then, and we don't know how much it'll be, because from what I've told, is a lot of the community uses the current transfer station on a daily basis.
Right. As far as, how do you keep it clean for smell, flies, those type of things, with everything being dumped onto the floor and then pushed across?
So it's funny, but what they use is we use mattresses. We take a mattress and you scrape the floor, and that pushes all the debris in there. I mean, flies are gonna be flies. You're gonna have flies. The odor, if you're in any kind of questioning about it, I would suggest you go to Jackson County. I've taken some other people of the county over there. It's a wonderful facility. There's no odor. It's right next to all the ball fields and everything like that. We're not holding material. We're removing the material. It's just being brought there in one central location.
So, but at the same time, when a bag's drugged across the floor.
Right,
I've been
material comes out, right?
7 different counties around as far as it goes. The other thing was, as far as, I lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me next.
You take, like a lot of people just have household garbage bag, few bags.
Yes, sir.
You have a separate location that can be thrown in, or?
We would just make one bay, so we would have numbers on those bays, on these bays here. So this would be like bay 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 would be just strictly for homeowners, so they could just back their cars up in there and all. I mean, we're not in an area where we have, 17 trash companies in this area. We don't have that, right? I mean, we only have a few that are operating in this area, and every trash company only wants to bring trash to the closest one of these or closest landfill when it's full, so that it can continue on its route. So if you're in Madison County, it's not like somebody's gonna come from the other side of Watkinsville all the way to Madison County to drop that trash. Does that make sense?
No recycling stuff.
Well, our goal is to be able to partner with RDS, which is the recycling processor, and you would have with those, in Clark County, have you ever seen those recycled dumpsters?
But at this point, for what you're asking for now,
no recycling.
That's not included?
No, it is not.
Okay.
While William is still waiting, I would like to ask you, I'm kind of gonna come off of what he was saying, because I had a problem, I had a concern about the smell. So the way our Madison County transfer station is work, where you dump it over in the concrete thing, and then the tractor comes in, is that how you're gonna operate? Or are we just dropping it inside a truck?
No, you put it on the concrete floor, but this is enclosed.
Yeah.
On 3 sides. Yours is not. It just has a roof
Right.
over it, and it's very low. So like my trucks can't back up to that and dump in there,
Okay.
because the roof is so short and all, so that no garbage truck. The garbage trucks actually have to go to the end down there and back up and kind of get up over top of that trailer and dump into that trailer, and then they have to move it with another machine. And if that gets moved, the trailer gets full, you just have to sit there with your truck open and all. So, it's on the old landfill, so all your leach agent and everything is going into the ground out there.
So you won't do a daily spray down, because now you're enclosed, that one is open, so the air more comes in.
Right.
So will you not do a?
Well, we would use products as it got dirty, and we would wash it off, but there's not like a set standard in the industry to rinse it daily or anything like that. But the one in Jackson County, if you've been to that one, if you pull in there, there's the same thing, it's 3-sided, just like this. There's no heavy smell whatsoever. The biggest problem is really when it rains, we get the most amount of water, and that's when it kind of washes everything down into that cistern, and we're pumping that out and taking that to a waste treatment plant. Yes, sir.
I've noticed up in Jackson County, they use, prisoners, there to help unload the trash.
We won't be using prisoners.
Okay.
We'll be using all private individuals. This is fully funded private business.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
You have a question? Yeah. Do all the vehicles, whether it be a car with a couple of bags or a truck, everybody goes over the scales?
Yes, sir. Everybody has to go to the scale.
So they go over the scales coming in, go over the scales coming out?
Yes, sir.
Obviously. And the reason I'm asking is, I live close to this one down here, and I guess that you're not gonna be open on Saturday, that's probably their busiest day down here. But, they get terribly backed up, and that is with people going this way to throw out small stuff, and going this way over the scales, coming and going, they really get backed up, even down the road.
We'll have a two-way scale.
So I didn't know.
If you can go back to the other slide, the picture with the site plan, we'll have a two-way, so you're constantly keeping them coming in and out. You won't have to stop. So this is your entryway here coming in, you go over there. If this other person's coming out, they're coming out this way on the opposite side. So it's kind of like a double drive-through.
Okay.
Does that make sense? And then that.
I thought it was just one scale.
No, it is one scale, but you have double-sided. We're utilizing both sides of the road. So you have a tenant on either side, and that keeps the traffic flow. That way we don't have any backup on Business Drive. If there's any backup, it's just getting out of there. We want to get people in and out, and with residential people, it's going to come down to it's going to come down to a bag, like how much per bag we would charge and all.
So it's only gonna be one person that goes across that scale, and I'm seeing that the entrance right there, so only one person gets to go across that scale.
Well, when you pull in, there'll be enough room here for like 2 or 3 vehicles that can sit here. So then they pull up on the scale once we take your weight. If you're a truck, if you're a homeowner, you're gonna say, I have 5 bags. And then we say, okay, go, and they go, we tell them go to bay 1. And they would go over to bay 1. Now, if somebody's already at bay 1 and all, there's more than enough room. 2 or 3 cars can back in there and throw out their stuff.
In one bay?
In one bay, yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
And we're gonna have 4, so if there's no big trucks there dumping, they can just go into any of the bays.
Further questions?
One more.
You got it.
Dump trailers and those type things, obviously, that are coming in, as far as around the Jackson County facility specifically. I noticed like some house wrap and those kind of things, and I know ours is pretty tight, that you have to have it tarped and those kind of things to help keep trash as vehicles and trucks come through.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything gonna be in place there to kind of help rein in from the cars that are coming in and out, not letting things get there as they're coming into the facility?
I mean, I can't stop anybody, I can't dictate to a homeowner how they transport stuff. They combat that in every county, is that, cover your loads,
Right.
things of that nature. I can tell you this, that my trucks are closed and they're rear loaders. There's another company right in the area, they're using open top containers. There's litter that blows out of them. I also own another company called College Pro Landscaping, and I pay 2 people to walk the road and pick stuff up all the time. We also have a large parking lot area up there where we get dumped on. I put a 30-yard container up there so that people are just coming and bringing stuff and dumping it in the middle of the weekend up there and all. And I had to take out 13 tires the other week because people just come and just drop stuff in the middle of the weekends and the nights and everything. So I really can't control what's coming in. Coming out, I can control the trailers coming out. They will be completely level. They have to go all the way up and down 441. They don't want to have to deal with the Department of Transportation. DOT loves to camp out the old Golden Pantry in Hull. I mean, that's just our favorite little niche spot. If they need to make a ticket, they just stop there in the morning and just start catching every truck they can.
That's hunting over bait.
Huh?
That's hunting over bait.
You said it.
So will you fence off?
The entire facility.
People from doing that, dumping stuff?
Oh, nobody will be able to get into this facility when it's closed. It will be completely fenced and screened and landscaped along the Business Drive road. And this does back up to the train tracks and all. So there's not really, and it is zoned industrial.
All right, more questions?
Thanks, sir. Appreciate your time.
All right, at this point, we will open the public hearing. Just to the board members, you have a letter here from someone, that is opposed. But we're opening the public hearing here for anyone that wants to speak in favor of this, request. Anyone wants to speak in favor? Please come forward, state your name and.
My name is Byron Bing. I own a construction company, so he won't haul anything for me. But I have to deal with trash all the time, and I go to Jackson County all the time, and I can't use Madison County landfill, and Overport County landfill shut down. And so I've got some other properties that are rural, and they don't even have trash service, and so then I'm wandering around different areas trying to find a place where I can put trash, just household trash. And so it's a problem. But bigger than that, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Waste Management, but they're the biggest trash company in the entire world, and quite honestly, they're an illegal monopoly. That's another point. Small business in the county brings in tax dollars, brings in revenue, and to have a service like that here in the county is going to help cover some bases where the county can't, because the county doesn't staff the landfill here, the transfer station here full time. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a benefit. And like everything, there's always downsides to business sometimes, but I think the upside to this one is pretty simple and pretty straightforward. It's a small place, it's in a proper place, and I think it would be an asset to the community.
All right, thanks, sir. Anyone else wants to speak for this request? Hearing none, is there anyone who wants to speak in opposition? Please come forward, state your name, and tell us what you want us to know.
Make sure you sign in if you're speaking.
My name is Felicia Allen, and I am a resident and own property on James Hopper Road. It's adjacent to Business Drive and his two companies, AAA and Classic City Landscaping, it's the backside of my property. I'm strongly opposed to this. We had to deal with his companies coming in, and we have an excessive amount of traffic for the type of road that we're on. And it's just become aggravating and a problem. Plus, you know, there's employees coming in and out, there's the trucks coming in and out, and that road has been damaged. There's potholes everywhere. They cover them up. The county does, I'm assuming, cover up the potholes, but then they just come back due to the trucks and, you know, coming in and out. It's just not equipped for that. And as far as the back roads, well, I'm down to the road, not near the train tracks, but I'm on down the road, James Hopper Road. And, you know, you got employees coming in, employees going out now, but I understand, and he's saying 2 to 6 employees, whatever. But, I mean, how much weight, he's talking about how much weight he brings in every week. Well, how that much weight comes on our road every week. So the road is damaged. It's not really equipped for that. The speed limit is 35 miles an hour, and I assure you there's plenty going over that. I'm not saying who, what, where, but plenty of vehicles that go over that amount. It's just become a real danger and a hazard for us, and the noise, and of course the smell that's going to occur from this. And I mean, it all sounds like, you know, it's going to work just fine, but, you know, we all know that's not true. And the trains, yeah, the trains are a problem, always have been. But, yeah, they may have gotten better, but still, it's going to bring more traffic from, you know, people, just general people coming up by my house and that way. And I just like, well, I've lived there almost 60 years, my entire life, and it's just, you know, we've been through this, we've gone through this, so I just want to voice my opinion that I'm against it. And I know there's probably not much I can do about it, but totally, and the people around and my neighbors and residents are totally against it too. But anyway, I just want to say that, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
You make sure to sign in.
I signed this.
Yes, ma'am,
Uh-huh.
thank you.
Is there anyone else would like to speak in opposition to it? Please come forward, sign in, and state your name and tell us what you want us to know.
My name's Forrest Monroe. This is my wife. We own the property right next to this, 186 James Holcomb Road. We have the quad apartment. I got 4 families living there. They don't need the smell. They don't need the bugs. They already have health problems. We already have people turning around in our apartments from the train tracks, not being able to get around it and everything. I've already had people run into the building, run into the mailboxes, poles out there, other people's cars. That road, it's hard to tore up. They can't take it anymore.
I mean, smell is a big concern, especially with our residents already living there. We don't want to lose any rent, and nobody wants to live next to one of these things.
We're just going to reduce the property value in that area.
And we're right next to it.
I mean, we literally touch the corner up there.
Tracy, can you pull up the Q public? So they can show us where they're talking about.
This is my property right here. We butt up right there.
He's planning on putting the building right down that corner.
And his building's going to go right there.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak in opposition? Please come forward, state your name and sign in. That's what you want us to know.
My name's Alan Guest. I signed in earlier. I appreciate y'all's time tonight. So I own the business directly across this building here. Built it 05, 06. I don't remember. I've been there a long time. You know, I've got a list because I can't stay on the task very good, so we'll go over if that's okay. The traffic getting in and out is horrible. They've already spoken to that. The road's terrible. The county can't keep it repaired. A bigger issue that I see is big trucks. Me and my pickup truck trying to get on Highway 72 and turn toward Athens takes forever. It's a dangerous spot. We've seen wrecks there already. A tractor trailer, I couldn't imagine doing it. The other issue with tractor trailers turning from 72 on the James Holcomb, they use both lanes. So if there's a car sitting there trying to get out, it's an issue. Tractor trailer has to stop in the road. There's no decel lane. I don't believe there's room for a decel lane. Something that to look at. So, yeah, and then, you know, we all know the train blocks the tracks frequently. Roads there are poor condition, potholes. The shoulder of the road deteriorated so narrow. You meet trucks, you're already coming off the road. It's tearing all that up. As far as value to the community, you know, as far as property values, taxes coming into the county, if that goes in, a lot of property values are going down, which will more than offset what you get to charge for that facility. Let's see, the fires, you know, it's common with this. Unfortunately, people throw away lithium batteries. Is our fire department capable of fighting fires with lithium? You know, what hazardous materials come off of a fire when those batteries ignite? I know they're not supposed to, but it happens. You know, I didn't know be open to the public. It's an industrial area. I don't think it's a good fit. I don't like a lot of traffic around my business. It just creates a lot of problems. Long-term plans, if this is granted, what could it grow into? Could it go into, you know, more problems or grow into a bigger facility with more traffic and those kind of things? I'd like to know projected amount of traffic we're anticipating coming into this. Because again, you know, I'm not even sure what the road gets now. Actually, I have a good idea because I did a count on it for a 24-hour period. And, you know, it's excessive. It's over 500 cars in a 24-hour period. So we're going to double that. The fact that we take trash from other counties, try to clean up their problems, you know, Madison County is one thing, but I don't understand that. You know, is the county capable of monitoring what's going on as far as wastewater runoff? I'm on a well. A lot of people in the area are on wells. The county well's not far from there either. So, yeah, I guess who would monitor it to make sure everything's done as it's supposed to? Yeah, that's my biggest concern. You know, the public coming in there, I think it's a huge issue. You know, if the county needs to beef up what it's doing over here in Danielsville, I think it should. I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Just curious, what kind of business do you run?
It's a machine shop. I've got like 6 employees. We run a clean operation.
All right. Anyone else speak in opposition? Please come forward.
Hi, I'm Dennis Payton. I own the property that's right at, they call it Jasmine Drive. This area here.
Just for curiosity, Mr. Payton, you want to?
I gave him a copy of your
Yes, that is me. 'Cause
I wasn't
I
sure
did it
how-
at midnight last night, so I wasn't sure if y'all got it. So that's another reason I wanted to be here.
Okay, just
Yeah.
go ahead.
I'm concerned about the traffic as well. Already now, you meet people in there that can't maintain their lane because the road is narrow. And the road is kind of in disrepair. There's already a sign there that says no through trucks. The train constantly sits on the track. People turn around, and I don't care how many times you tell people not to go in the roads back behind there, I can guarantee you those trucks will go in the roads. And I'm also concerned about 300 tons of trash, and I don't care how much you try to control the smell or spray it down or plant rose bushes, you're gonna have a smell. And there's gonna be a tremendous smell there from 300 tons, from what I understand, of trash. And I just think it's we're completely demolished area.
All right, sir. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
My name's Kevin Hardeman. I live in a neighborhood that's just below what you see there on the picture. And I'm really concerned about water. We're all on wells. I don't want nasty water. I don't want any smells coming that way. And the traffic is horrible. When you sit there at the railroad track, and I'm not even sure if you could squeeze the tractor trailer and the trash truck together through that arms of the train. I just think it's causing problems and be a menace to the neighborhood.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Please come forward, state your name, and tell us what you want to hear.
Yeah, I'm Mickey Pope, and I own Classic Metalworks, which is directly beside where he's wanting to put this. This is my property here. And I'm also, just like everybody else, the traffic is an issue, but the variance that he's asking for, 10 feet away from the property line, that would actually put his weigh stations and everything literally 30 feet from my 2 doors of my building. This is the first I've really heard about it, and first I've seen the site plan. You know, I proposed, could we postpone the October meeting until I can at least look at this in a better way than just seeing it firsthand today. This past week, last week, I had a customer from Italy. We're a sheet metal fabrication company, and we do laser cutting and bending and forming for different packaging companies. As you can see on our property, you know, we've got a sod yard, you know, and we've really taken interest in making sure everything is well maintained. The road beside us in the property that is requested on making it is there's trash all down the side of the road. There's constantly people just park out on the side of the road there. And another concern I've got is several times in this turn here, you meet you know, the trucks and everything on this turn, if you meet a truck right here, you better get off the side of the road or you're gonna get hit. And so this James Holcomb Road itself is, I don't think is definitely can't handle the extra traffic. And so that's, yeah, I mean, it's a much of the, see if we could postpone this meeting. I don't know if that's is allowable or not, but I don't think I have adequate time to adjust of what, this is, what they're talking about doing.
Well, sir, just to try to answer your question, the answer to us postponing it is probably no. But you have several weeks before this comes before the Board of Commissioners. The Board of Commissioners does have the final say. So you do have some time to do your research and to present what you're presenting to us to the Board of Commissioners, who have the final say. We only are a recommending board on it.
Okay. What are the current setbacks on the property lines now?
I can't answer that right offhand, because Ms. Patrick.
Well, they only have to be 10 feet from, in an industrial zone, from the property line.
Is that what, that's what I wasn't told when I built the building, my other side building, I've got on the side over there, they told me it's 30 feet.
Are you, in an industrial zone?
I'm right here, in the same property he's talking about here. I built this side building over here, they told me there's a 75 feet from the railroad tracks back to the property line, there's a 75 feet offset, or setback. And it's supposed to be 30 to 50, I think 30, offset on each side of the property.
Well, since he's using the entrance of Business Drive only, he's not allowing access onto the 72. The primary entrance and exit is off the
So he still
drive.
can go 10 feet off the property line back to the railroad tracks?
Sir, this is, I understand your question is,
Yes, sir.
This not debatable at this point, you know, but, if you feel like that there's something, in our rules that's not being met,
Okay.
then I suggest that you come and talk with Ms. Patrick, at a later time.
That sounds good.
Okay.
I can do that. Thank you.
All right, is there anyone else? Please, how many more do we have after this one?
Is it?
Please come forward, sir.
And be sure to sign in. In your name?
My name is Scott Clark. I live in a subdivision, the same subdivision Kevin referred to.
Yes, sir.
My concern is particularly, I haven't heard any real characterization of what the inferred impact on James Holcomb Road is. Obviously, it's Highway 72 there, and the indication has been that that's where the big stuff is going to be coming out. But James Holcomb goes down and ties into Charlie Bolton Road, which is like an amusement park ride in terms of the curves and everything else. Traffic is always big trucks, whatever, high speeds, and I am very concerned about the intersection on that part of this enterprise, because that apparently is not going to be influenced by, okay, we're going to take the big tractor trailers out 272, and you know that's has its own issues, because I've been run off the road a number of times in that, going from Charlie Bolton on James Holcomb up to 72, and all of a sudden it's like you literally get run off the road. But if this is going to increase traffic even more, people coming into James Holcomb off of Charlie Bolton Road, it's going to be more damage to more lives and more vehicles, and I haven't heard any characterization of what really is expected to happen with that. I'm not accusing them of blithely stating that. It's sort of been left unanswered, and I'm very apprehensive about it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Once again, anyone else? All right, would you like to have a rebuttal, please?
Yeah, I would, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
So there's two things, just want to address a few things, Kim. One, this is an industrial zone. The county built this area for industry, okay? Whether it's a transfer station or, I also own this tract of land as well.
Yeah.
If I combine them all and put up a major facility that was doing production and trucks were coming in, trucks coming out, it's an industrial zone. You're gonna have trucks coming in and out nonstop. The facility is gonna be located here. It's not gonna be adjacent to this here. The actual building will lie inside this perimeter of this parcel, not butting up next to these apartments. There's actually a tract of land here, 2.5 acres that backs up to his property there on that piece there. As far as water spill off or anything like that, we will be regulated by the EPD stringently. They have severe mandates. They come out and spot check on a regular basis and all. It's not hard to control the water that's gonna be coming from any of the leaching agents or the trucks. Yes, the roads need work. All the county roads need work. There's no doubt about it. There's, you know, whether we keep running my operations or another company comes in here or the delivery trucks for these other two operations that are there, we're all beating those roads up either way and all. So I really don't think that's a characterization that we should be saying it's just about these trucks and these stuff there. My trucks all come to my facility every day now. They all leave out every day in the morning. I mean, I have 87 vehicles that leave my facility every single day, just from my place alone, okay? And they go all over the place. So I just wanted to clarify on those few little things. It's not touching on there as far as the property lines and all. And the site plan shows that the facility is not here. It's actually in the middle of that parcel of land. It's not even anywhere. Yeah, so his property line is right here.
Sorry.
So the only thing that would be adjacent right here would be the scale house, and that is the correct setbacks that the engineering team did go through your books on.
So the proposed building would be roughly how far from the property line?
It's closer to the train track and the adjacent property, which this is another 2.5 acres of land between me and,
And that's your property?
yes, sir. I own both parcels.
So you're saying that you have garbage trucks coming out there already?
Yes, ma'am. From my facility every day across the street at 79 Business Drive.
So what are they, they're just going to?
Go to start their routes every single day. Yes,
And then
ma'am.
they come back?
Yes, ma'am. Any other questions?
Any further questions? Big pardon?
Is it diploma?
Diploma?
Diploma.
Yes, diploma. Okay. Yes, sir.
All right, you've, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board for any further discussion, between the board members, and then I will entertain a motion.
I would like to say something. Okay, Mr. Diploma, I understand that why you want to put it in that area, because you have your businesses already and it's an industrial area. But, like everybody else, I live in that area. And I know my friend used to own, that little, she used to have a beauty shop and stuff right there before the track, and a daycare or something like that. And I don't know where DOT is, if they can have it where the trucks come off before they get to that area, but, it is very dangerous there. There's a blind spot. When you go over that track, trying to see, traffic coming from, the Athens area, there's a blind spot. And since they extended 72 all the way to Everton, there's been a lot of accidents. And you're saying it would increase because you're gonna have residential traffic plus your trucks coming down that windy road. I mean, that road is small. So, to me, yes, the county may need it, but is that the place they need to put it? And I mentioned this before, but to me, I would like to make a motion that
I'm not ready for a motion yet, we're in discussion, and actually we're in discussion among ourselves,
Oh, okay.
not,
Oh, okay.
not to the board. Now, Ms. Candy?
Yes, sir. Well, this is difficult. I mean, there's a lot of valid public sentiment about this. And I certainly want to take that into consideration. But ultimately, I think that there is a legitimate need in this county for more waste management. The second thing is, that kind of weighs heavily, is this is zoned industrial. There's not much industrially zoned areas in the county. So, I mean, the county is pushing the industry to stay in industry and not expand into the rest part of the county. And once again, this is a case where, well, you say you want industrial, but then again, you can't use it for industrial. So it's a difficult decision. It's not an easy one.
Well, as a chair, from what I've heard tonight, and this is just, I don't have a vote, and what I've heard tonight is, yes, there is a need within this county. We all, I think even the people that's opposed to it, recognize that there is a great need for this. Now, is it the right place? I can't answer that. I mean, that's something that the people that's making the decision will have to ask. Is it the right place? We've had other things that come before us that's well needed, but is it the right place because of the traffic, because of the negatives? But there's a lot of positive to it, and I think that most people would agree that what we have already is not sufficient, and we need something else. We need something else to take care of our waste. But that's just my opinion.
My opinion is, this is an industrial complex. It falls within our comp plan. It sounds like the number one by far issue is traffic and road conditions, which we'll have to lie on the Board of Commissioners' shoulders, I guess, when they get this, as to whether they want to widen the road, repave the road, even Business Drive, I think, that goes in there as a county road. Well, regardless, that's a call that the commissioners can do something about if they choose to do so. So, I'm in favor of it.
Smith, you have a comment?
Yeah, I agree. This is what we've been going on and on and on, and that's the reason we have this board. And I thank everybody for showing up. I know we have several meetings that nobody ever shows up to, and I thank you, and I ask you to continue to come even when it's not something that affects you personally. We need more people engaged in the government in the county. It will only help all of us. So I thank everybody for showing up here this evening.
Any more comments? If not, at this point, I will open the floor for a motion and to approve, to deny, or to approve with conditions.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve as presented.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Gannon to approve. Do I have a second? Second by Lee. Any further discussions or comments? Not? Lee?
Yes.
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 Nope.
Okay, we have a 3-1 approval. This will be presented to the Board of Commissioners to recommend approval from this board. You don't have to be present. None of you that's in opposition have to be present, but I strongly recommend that you do and present your case to the Board of Commissioners. This is a recommending board only. The recommendation, the approval or disapproval will have to be done by the Board of Commissioners. So on October 6th, I suggest that you fill this room up and you let your opinions be heard, and your elected officials will have the final say. All right, with that, we'll move on to number 4.
Bobby Patrick, applicant for Ronnie Patrick, is requesting to rezone his 16.79 acres from A1 to AR to allow the property to be split into 3 tracts consisting of 2 4-acre and 1 8.79-acre tracts for family members to retain. The property is located at 4922 Hudson Rivers Church Road in Danielsville on map 21, parcel 123 in District 2.
All right, Bobby, how are you, sir?
Doing good, how you?
Good.
I feel guilty because I don't have nothing pretty with that.
Okay. Just tell us what you want us to know.
My brother owns this acreage, and it's actually mine, but we haven't changed our names over. He gave it to me. And, since we're having it rezoned, he just wanted just a certain little spot, but now we gotta get 4 acres for his mobile home. So I gotta cut his 4 acres off of the property, 18, whatever it is, acres. Then my boy's living next door. He's got 5 acres, but I wanted to cut his back to 4 acres so I could sell the rest of it to whoever wants it in the family, whatever. And that's about what it drills down to. It's just getting Ronnie's 4 acres and my boy's 4 acres cut off of that 18 acres.
All right, have any questions for Mr. Patrick?
So each of the 4 acres already has a dwelling on it.
Mm-hmm.
The remaining 8.79 acres has nothing.
Just woods. And frontage road down there.
Any further questions? Thanks, sir.
Appreciate it.
All right, at this point, I will open the public hearing. If anyone wants to speak for this rezone request? Anyone want to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board, and I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve.
Have a motion by Cynthia to approve. A second. Second by Lee. Questions or comments? Smith?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, this has been approved. We will recommend to the Board of Commissioners that they approve this rezone request. Again, you don't have to be here, but I recommend that you do. All right, number 5.
Okay, Byron Bean is requesting to rezone his 5.97 acres from A2 to AR to allow a second home to be placed on the property as an accessory dwelling unit for his parents. The property is located at 1125 Shoal Creek Road in Culver on map 59, parcel 119 in District 5.
All right. Green? That's what you want us to know.
Well, my dad is almost 81, and my mom is 78, and she's especially in poor health, and so I'd really like to keep them close to me. She's had cancer, she had a brain operation a couple of years ago, and so they're currently living in a small apartment that I made in my house, but I need a little bit more than 7 inches. I'd like maybe 70 feet.
All right. Okay, any questions for Mr. Green? Here, thank you, sir. All right, open the public hearing, if anyone wants to speak in favor, this is our request. Hearing none, anyone want to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing, and I'll entertain a motion.
I'm going to approve.
A motion to approve,
I'll second.
motion second. Any questions, comments? All right, Mr. Gandy.
Yes.
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 All right. This has been approved. We will make a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners that they approve this, rezone request. The next public hearing will be on October 6th before the Board of Commissioners.
Thank you.
All right. Number 6.
Okay, Kim Wood, applicant for her parents, Larry and Melissa Little, is requesting to rezone a 4-acre portion of their 17.52 acres from A1 to AR to allow it to be split out and gifted to their daughter for a home site, and to rezone the remaining 13.52 acres from A1 to A2 to bring the property into compliance with zoning regulations. The property is located at 1461 Fitz-Davis Road in Danielsville on map 36, parcel 75 in District 4.
All right. What?
Hi, I'm Kim Wood, their daughter. I'm just pretty much requesting to go back home.
Okay.
That's where I actually was raised and grew up at, and so now me and my husband want to build a forever home for our daughter that we just recently had 2 years ago. So, but otherwise, also my dad has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and so he has his good days and he has his bad days. And my mom still actually works at Madison County High School, so she's still there. So she would just feel a lot more comfortable, especially if I was there, just in case something happened and things like that. So that's the reason why we are wanting to do all of this.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Wood?
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. As usual, we'll open the public hearing. If anyone wants to speak in favor, this rezone request. Anyone want to speak in opposition? Hearing none, close the public hearing and bring it back to the board, and I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we approve as presented.
Have a motion to approve. Have a second. Questions or comments? Thank you.
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, this has been approved. We will recommend to the Board of Commissioners to make this approval. Again, the next public hearing will be October 6th in front of the Board of Commissioners. They do have a final say. Okay? I know. We will delay for just a few seconds for, again, it's your turn and Cynthia.
David down here.
He's not.
I'm here, Luke Boggs.
Okay, the attorney. Okay.
That's for number 7. Okay.
Yeah. You will still get out while they, come back. Business. Every year. Thank you, sir.
Michael, you know, this next guy has to come back to be heard in 2 years.
I think that's in the zoning ordinance.
I know it is, but why?
I don't have a vote. You voted for it. Are you ready?
I did. That's okay, we'll wait on Cynthia.
If I spoke up every time I thought something, people would hate me even more than they do now.
All right, we will reconvene here. Number 7.
Okay, so David Dye, applicant for Broad River Mining LLC, is requesting a conditional use for the 278.62 acre property to reopen a rock quarry operation for aggregate mining, for both crushed and surge stone. Property is located at 0 Berkeley Road on map 114, parcel 1-03 in District 4. And I understand that Mr. Dye is not in attendance, but his attorney, Luke Boggs, is here to represent on his behalf.
Thank you, Ms. Patrick.
All right.
Thank you all for allowing us to come here and talk about this. As she said, I am Luke Boggs, and my firm's address is 1220 Langford Drive, Building 200, Suite 101, Watkinsville, Georgia, 30677. And so, as you know, our letter of intent shows, this is seeking to reopen the mine site that is already there. It's already a quarry. It hasn't been operational for at least a decade, as far as I'm aware. And there's no issue with the mining materials there. It's just kind of switched owners and got lost in the shuffle. And we're hoping to reopen it to do some aggregate mining. So it's slightly different than the dimensional, just cutting out blocks. It's now going to be aggregate as the plan for this property. Like I said, there's already a quarry there, and this project will resume operations within the existing disturbance limits. Based on the reserve modeling that we've done, we think there's at least 50 years worth of material in there. Could be much more. It's kind of hard to know for sure until you actually start, going into it. But, we think there's a pretty significant supply. Once the, once the mine is operational, we think roughly 75% of it is going to go out by rail. There is rail close by that can be connected to the site and go to coastal markets in the surrounding states in North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida. But also would be happy to supply this county and the surrounding counties with anything, if there was a interesting, market for it, that would be going out by truck. But like I said, as of right now, we suspect most of the traffic will be by rail. One thing I want to note in the notice of intent that we wrote, we said that the hours of operations were Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Upon talking more about it, looking at it, we, if possible, prefer to have no limits on the hours of operation, just because the rail lines kind of run 24 hours a day, and so having people there to, handle that shipping and also maintenance concerns, just having that without limitation. Once the mine is fully operational, we estimate to be about 14 to 20 full-time jobs. The quarry also, as you can imagine, mining is very, very heavily regulated by the federal and state government. This location will be represented by, federal EPA, the United States Mine Safety and Health Administration, the Georgia Environmental Protection Division, and there are, many, many permits and licenses and, applications that that the applicant will have to do once this approval has been met. So there are lots of eyes on these kinds of projects, and lots of people making sure that everything is being done in compliance with federal and state law and safely, and with no environmental harms. Let's see. There will be a 6-foot high fence located at least 10 foot back from the edge of all pit areas, which is required under the ordinances, section .13.3. We do have a comprehensive plan on what will happen with the quarry whenever it is no longer producing, which I'll get to at the end. There's stormwater ponds and slip prevention measures, and going to do slope stabilization as well, and there'll be a paved parking lot. As I mentioned, there's several permits that the project will have to get after it's been approved by the county, which is, just to name a couple of them, a Georgia mine permit from the EPD, a Georgia air quality permit from the EPD, industrial stormwater permitting, erosion and sediment control plan from the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System, spill-in prevention measures as required by the EPA, and registering with the Mine Safety and Health Administration. As you can imagine, because it is a current quarry, it is zoned appropriately as I-5 industrial, and that is what the ordinances, put mines under, is that I-5, and we satisfy all of the requirements of those ordinances. The properties around this property are all currently zoned as conservation, so there should not be any development around the property that would build up. And as of now, did some rough measuring, and it looks like the nearest property is about a mile away, maybe give or take a little bit. So there's not too many neighbors that should be disturbed now or in the future because the surrounding property is not going to be developed. Frankly, because this has already been developed as a mine, there's really no other productive use for this property than to do a operation like this. To hit on the plan for the reuse of the property once the quarry has run out, which again we think is going to be at least 50 years, if not significantly more. But the typical things done, what we plan to do here is to convert the excavated pits into water reservoirs, and there's lots of potential uses for that, both in recreation and for county for the water. And of course, once that is done, all the processing plant equipment and other infrastructure associated with the mine, operations would be removed as well. So that wouldn't just be vacant sitting there. And try to turn it back into a natural habitat for boating, fishing, hunting, etc.
Okay. Any questions from this gentleman?
Are there any? Go ahead.
Oh, just you mentioned in your markets hot mix asphalt. Now, we all be doing exclusively granite aggregate coming out of this, or are you processing that? Will that be a product yourself?
That's going to be the predominant product, yes, sir.
So
there will be some marine stone as well, because the quality of the rock on that particular site is really hard rock.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a big need for the all intercoastal waterways is marine boulders. That's why we're putting about a 2-mile loop off CSX to come into the property to load rail cars.
But will y'all be providing the primary materials, the raw materials, or, the asphalt? Or are you going to be mixing the asphalt with the granite?
We're not mixing any asphalt on the site. This is just raw material.
Before we move any further, could you state your name?
Yes, sir. I apologize. My name's Manuel Calo-Unides, and I live at 4175 Treader Bay Lane, Peachtree Corners, Georgia.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure.
I apologize.
I don't want to mess your name up.
I apologize.
Go
If you
ahead.
would, make sure you sign in.
I did.
Okay, perfect.
Any further questions?
Are there any other active mining operations, even with adjacent properties?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right across the river. Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So y'all probably know this property. If y'all from this area?
Yes.
So you know where the beach is on the river? There's a big river beach down there where everybody goes and drinks beer and hangs out.
Glad to know about that now.
No, y'all, it's on sunny days, there's a lot of people down there, but, the reason I know that is I worked with the Madison County Sheriff. We acquired the property 8 years ago, and we had a really big, so this was a public road that came all the way in, that came all the way back to these open quarry pits. Well, the kids were not only going to the beach, but they were up here, and we found campfires and empty liquor bottles, syringes, and so forth. So as a safety precaution, I got together with the sheriff, y'all sheriff. He came out, we got with GDOT. GDOT agreed to close, you guys and GDOT, because we had to have their permission for something, but we closed this road and we fenced it with barbed wire fence to make sure, so all of this is private property. So from a mining perspective, is not only this gate gonna be locked and secured, but before the plant area is almost 2 miles off a road in the middle of nowhere. The closest mining operation is directly across the river from us right here. Directly across the river. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm glad you asked that, because I had to find out what was this mine? Did this used to be
The old Berkeley quarry, Berkeley royalty quarry. It was in operation for over a century.
Okay, it wasn't the Blue Sky that in 2017?
I don't know.
Because I brought it up and I put in the address, and that's what they told me, the Blue Sky.
It went through several local owners and a change of hands, and there are a lot of quarry owners. So I don't know, they may have changed the name in the interim, but it was the original Royalty Berkeley quarry, and again, it was in existence and operation for a century.
Yeah, so I think it's that one. So my question is, before, when you went to purchase it, and you wanted to open this up, did you have to, did the MSHA come in and say about anything, evaluate the quarry or anything?
They haven't, to this point that I'm aware of, they wouldn't have had any, I mean, they did before, I would presume, but not now, they haven't, no.
Okay, so how is your mining gonna be different from the mining that they did before?
So what they did before was all dimensional stone. Okay, do you know what dimensional stone is?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and that's what the quarry pits are. Well, all of this, these pits right here, we're gonna be doing construction aggregate. So we're gonna be taking the rock and crushing it in small pieces, construction aggregate, the stuff on truck for construction, stuff that goes down for roads. So that's what's gonna be the mining operation now.
Okay.
And then the bigger pieces are gonna be mineral stone and marine stone, that again, we're gonna be hopefully going out on rail to all of the, like Savannah where they're dredging, right, they need that marine stone.
Okay, because I wanted to know, why did this place close? And if it's the one I'm talking about, it's the same, when I brought the address, the MSHA closed this quarry.
Yeah, I don't know why. I know a lot of businesses closed because of poor management and poor operations.
Well,
I don't know, I have no idea.
Well, I brought up their article and I know why, because there was a fatal accident out there. And an employee was killed. And my concern is that, okay, I'm sure you're familiar with a geographical anomaly.
I'm not.
And, okay, that's where the rocks are deformed, and there are two different forms of rocks, and it causes a weakness. And that's what happened. There was a weakness that that company did not identify to whoever, and the employee got killed because the settlement or the rock was weak. There's a weak area in there for rock. So I was wondering how you going to.
We're not quarrying dimensional stone.
So when you're blasting, you're not going to be blasting any.
A third party does all of that. So it's a third party that comes in. But in dimensional stone, they used to blast. They don't blast now. They use more of a wire saw. They do blast. They'll lift the rock with the charge. but this is not a dimensional stone quarry. But in dimensional stone and in quarry operations nationally, people die every year. There is an inherent risk with the business. And that's why it's so highly regulated, and why they come out here all the time and do spot checks consistently, and why you have to have an exorbitant insurance policy on your operation.
So that's why I was wondering how you were gonna correct that, because that's why it was closed. MSHA closed because of that.
Very possible, very possible.
And if that is true and that problem can't be rectified, then the permits won't be able to get issued. So, yeah, as we're discussing, the process for this is for it to get county approval and actually be a live active project, and then the feds and the state will review it and look at these issues and address, and at that time is when you make a plan to address those steps, because otherwise they won't permit it. So I'm sure if this is the same site where the, mine health organization shut it down, then they will be skeptical to reopen it unless precautions are taken, so.
Yeah, that's why I asked you, did they come in first before you?
We are not the company that had that issue, so we can't speak for what happened with them or the circumstances in which it shut down, if it is even the same property.
Well, I think he answered that at the beginning, that they have not come in. And they would not ask them to come in until they get county approval. Then they'll have to go to the Fed and the state or whatever to address the issues that you're talking about.
We've run into that before. I mean, that's pretty common. That I assume that's what you're saying, is that the county approval is one of the things you have to show in your application. Correct. For those other programs.
Correct.
Can I get a little more information on the CSX spur? I mean, obviously, there are gonna be people, I mean, you identified there are certain people that are so far away from it, but if the CSX spur is not in place when the aggregate is gonna be taken out, 25% on the proposal is gonna be on trucks. That's gonna affect not only us as citizens, but as well as the roads. And I mean, you already heard from the previous, transfer station that, we're here to protect the people of Madison County. So could you speak to a little bit about that spur? Because to me, this is in my district, that's vitally important to make sure that as much as possible, it doesn't have to be trucked out of there, that it can be put onto that, please.
So, absolutely, great question. So, first, the road that goes down to the old Berkeley Royalty Quarry, when they have for tens of years trucked out dimensional stone rock on trucks. I don't know why, but when you go down this road, it's not tore up. It's a great road. I don't know if they did a better underlayment, but the road is in great condition, and I would assume that is because for so many decades, they knew that they were going to be pulling tremendous weight from that quarry going up that road. So, but to your question, the business plan does not work without the rail spur. We can't truck out enough rock for the $60 million investment and the jobs that are going to be created on the site. We simply can't. The rail spur has to come in. CSX, in our initial discussions and with the operators' general discussions, they are more than for us having the railroad because they make money. They want it, more jobs, more money.
But at the same time, I guess just the cart before the horse, so to speak. Obviously, you're asking us to approve something like this with what in place to protect the people that are there locally?
Good question. I know that the business plan does not work without the rail spur. Could the operation be in operation and us have some trucks going out? I'd have to get back to you on that. I don't believe that without the rail spur approval, that the project will move forward.
Because on the same hand, there's not a market that is accessible by truck.
Yeah, we can't ship.
The cost of shipping is so much higher if you're trying to drive to North Carolina with a truck full of axles.
Once again, I get it. I mean, I say that's not what is in my purview. Thank you here. I want to make sure that we're looking at what it is that is for us, understanding that there are multiple agencies that will go on and have, but still at the same time, it's easy to say, yes, CSX is going to do this, but then we come back and, we've got 80 trucks a day coming in and out of it at your request, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I believe that if the board's wish is to grant the conditional use permit, it could further be conditioned on approval and installation of a rail spur.
Okay, thank you.
Now, how far away did you say the nearest landowner was, or the nearest?
I believe approximately a mile. We used Google Maps and looked, but that was.
Well, there's a home right here, all right? So from the property line, it's not a mile, right? It's not a mile. But where the plant area is, I would say is close to, and I don't know it exactly, but it's gotta be at least a mile and a half.
That's from the plant area, but it's not from the pit area.
It's not from the pit area, no, sir.
Now, will there be blasting and all going on in the pit area?
Yes, sir, ultimately, yes, sir. Yes, sir. The initial plans are to start with this pit here. Although it says expansion, we know the quality of rock here because that is one of the quarry ledges right here. So that's the highest quality rock on the site, right? And then they're gonna come into here because we wanna mine first what is closest to the plant simply for cost effectiveness, right? The closer we take the rock, the more efficient it is, right? So that's just ultimately what they could have with a 50-year volume is what they said. But honestly, they only went down a certain level in the drilling and the rock gets better and it got better and better. So this could actually have a century or more of reserves on the parcel. This is gonna have jobs in Madison County for a long time.
My last question, I guess, the expansion pit area.
Yes, sir.
How far is there any residential from that?
Oh, Lord. This property, the whole property is 812 acres, and that's about right in the center of it, so it's a 400-acre stretch from there to there, so, I mean, we could be blasting dynamite all day and they'll never hear it.
I was encouraged when I looked at it, it's wedged between where the South Fork Broad River and the Broad River come together. It's down in that point down there. I mean, I can't think of a better place to have a quarry.
It's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, in a beautiful county.
Can I ask you something? You know you said there's a house right there where your gate is, 'cause I couldn't get in there. Okay, and that quarry, you're gonna be blasting in that quarry, right?
Well,
Eventually. Or that pit area.
50 years from now, maybe? 25 years from now? 30 years from now?
Yeah.
And when these homeowners bought these houses, these aren't new houses. When they bought those houses, this quarry was running.
Right.
There was already blasting going. And the active mine is actually closer, is right down here where they do blasting now.
No, I was just.
Yeah, there's an active quarry right here doing everything we're doing.
I'm gonna go back to my, the fraction where the blasting, you at least have to be 100 feet from a resident, because everybody here has wells and stuff. And the sediment
Yes,
can't
ma'am.
get into the water if they're not at least 100 feet away.
Yeah, no, we're well over 100 feet from anywhere. I believe, I don't know exactly what the setback is off the railroad, but based on what I'm seeing here and knowing the property itself,
Well, I know that one little house sits very close to your property line. Well, the railroad tracks is in the house.
right, so that, there's outer buildings here, and I believe that's the house. And that may be another home, but from here to the railroad tracks, right? And I don't know that blasting's gonna do more than the railroad's doing that's been going by for 100 years, cause it's shaking the ground too, right?
But I'm talking about because of the weakness in the rock area. That would cause, the blasting would cause settlement to, if you're not 100 feet away.
Well, remember,
To the
all of the federal agencies that are gonna come out there, right? And they're gonna be inspecting us often. They don't just inspect you once every quarter or twice a year. they're out there often. And so they're gonna make sure we're in compliance with any setbacks and any federal laws and state laws as it requires to blasting. So we can't do anything that, I don't believe in any way where we're not monitored by the government. So they're
Well,
not.
that's what I'm saying is, if this is the quarry I'm talking about, and the MSHA closed them because of what I'm talking about, because of the weak in the rock, the two rocks that are different, at different times formed,
Okay.
and cause the weakness, then I wanna know, you want us to give you a condition, to approve before all this comes in. But then if all this comes in, then you get.
Let me intervene here.
Yeah.
Let me intervene here, Cynthia. What you're proposing, or what you're bringing forth, is some research that you have done, but we have not proven that. I understand you can, but you can't approve or deny this because of what you have read. I understand the discussion, but I think we're getting off into something that we have no control over. All we're being asked to do is to, from a county standpoint, to approve reopening or not.
Right.
We can't go into what happened 50 years ago.
Okay, no, that's not my point. I'm trying to say.
I similarly, kind of to what Mr. Scott is saying here, is the county's role in this is to say whether they're going to allow a mine under any circumstances. Then, once that approval has been given, that is when we can get the federal government and the state government to look at this project. They won't look at it until we have permits for it. So it is their job and their expertise to assess these things, assess these dangers, and to come up with a plan to either mitigate those potential harms or to just deny the project. And again, if this is the mine that they previously shut down because of this issue, they're not going to allow us to reopen it.
Right.
If that issue is still existing, we haven't done anything to address it.
Right.
So, that is their job to do that. And, this, I don't want to tell you all what to do, what your job is.
But my job is, for the citizens of Madison County, is to research, ask questions.
Sure.
And the concern of opening this up is that this weakness would cause settlement in will. So my concern is, you're gonna be blasting, I know, if this is the one that was the blue sky that was closed, that there's a weakness, and that weakness can cause more fraction, which can cause more settlement in their water. So that's what my concern is for the citizens of this county. That's why I'm asking these questions. And it's not based on, because I know, I can't say if you can open or close, because you're gonna have, like you said, a mining place is gonna have to, be regulated by the MSHA. But my concern is, you blasting, this fraction will cause more fraction in that. And, it can be, cause settlement in their wells or whatever, if they're not 100 feet away.
They're more than 100 feet away.
So see, that's what I'm concerned. I have to do my research and I have to ask you questions.
Yeah, and we'll definitely we are 100 feet away.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I don't have a vote at all. But the only thing I'm saying to you is, you have a vote.
Right.
Okay? You've expressed your concerns. You have one vote, and the rest of the commission has one vote. We can debate this all night, but I think it's time to bring it to a close where that we have heard your objections or your feelings. Then it's up to this board to vote, each member. You have one vote, Mr. Gandy has one vote, and these other two gentlemen have one vote.
And I'm sorry, I was not trying to debate.
Oh, no,
no,
they're great questions.
Yeah, we appreciate the question.
No, and just by your setbacks alone and what's required, we have to be over that lineal footage from all that. Yeah.
All right, anything else?
Yes, any blast that we do, obviously there's lots of monitoring equipment that keeps measuring of what that, is, and they'll, we can do seismographs to the closest resident. There's ways to make sure that there are no issues like that happening. So, this is not the 1800s where you're just throwing dynamite down a hole and hope nothing bad happens. This is a highly regulated, highly scientific industry with a lot of very smart people working every day to try to keep it safe and keep it environmentally secure.
And the group that's opening up this mine, they've done it before. They actually sold the previous property to Vulcan. That's how successful the group is. Again, their total initial investment into the project to get it running is $60 million. So they're the best of the best to bring this type of operation to Madison County. Everything's going to be done and federally approved.
Is this the same company who was in
I
Overthrow?
can't disclose it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, at this point, I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here that wants to speak for this request? Anyone here wants to speak in favor of this request? Is there anyone here wants to speak in opposition to this request? Please come forward, state your name, and tell us what you want us to know.
My name's Alan Camp, and again, thank you for the opportunity. I own the property west of, I guess, the pit area. I'll make a long story short as I can. I just purchased this property 2 years ago. I come in from Emma Cooper, which is not on the Berkeley Road side, but I back up to that. I know it was a quarry, but at the time I was also looking at some beautiful property in Oglethorpe County and Elbert County, similar to what I bought here, and it is beautiful land. There was no official person that told me this, but realtors and other people said, well, in Madison County, they want to go agriculture. That agriculture's a big thing, so probably wouldn't allow should the abandoned quarry get what they're doing now, actually get a permit. That was a big decision in why I bought in the property in Madison County. I appreciate all the good things that may do, some taxes and maybe some employment, but I was hoping to build my forever home on the property I bought 2 years ago. I've invested a bunch of money in sweat equity, and it's kind of put on hold now till we see what may come with this. I strongly urge y'all, please, with all the unknowns and all the things that has to happen, please look at this and please turn this down. Thank you.
All right, anyone else?
Yeah, my name's Keith Ingram. I actually live in Comer, so I don't have much skin in the game on this, except I lease a piece of property that joins Mr. Camp's. I hear the noise from the other quarry now. It is loud. Another quarry close by is going to make it twice as loud. But the gentleman hit on some things that I can relate to. I live in Comer, behind the feed mill. Now, I appreciate the county repaving the road here recently. Appreciate it a lot. I can relate to the cars being loaded. That's just chicken feed, and it is loud. Cars banging, all kind of noise. I can relate to the trucks. Tons of trucks, and not near as heavy as what they're talking about. And yes, they tear a road up. Y'all paved that road some years ago, and it just had to be repaved again here recently because the trucks tore it up so bad. So I can relate to some of the stuff that's going to go on here, even though I don't live in the area. But just on my part, I don't want to be sitting down in the woods deer hunting, enjoying my lease with a bunch of blasting. There's blasting already there. Like I said, this is going to make it twice as bad. The the gravel is the main thing that's gonna be making a ton of noise, grinding that rock. So that's my say on it. Like I said, I don't have a lot of skin in the game as far as personally being in that area, but I can relate to what they're fixing to deal with.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good evening, my name's Tim Hughes. I guess I'm one of those, in the middle of nowhere residents that we were talking about. I live on Berkeley Road, and I can't tell from that map, I don't know where the trucks would be coming in and out of. I don't know if that's on Berkeley Road. That's my biggest concern. I appreciate Mr. Smith, the questions he asked was on my mind too. Is there any way to have it's one thing to say you're gonna do a railroad, but it's another one to have it in writing that this is what you're gonna do. Because that's huge. As I looked at that, and I thought about it when I went to see the fence that is in the middle of Berkeley Road down from my house, that, okay, there's a rail line that comes through here. So it would make real sense if they had that. That would make economic sense for them, for sure, to do that. So I can understand that. The blasting, I don't know. I don't have any, we left Bethlehem to have our retirement home in Madison, which we have been so thankful. God brought us here. It's beautiful. It is so quiet. Every person that's come to our house has said, I see why you're living here. I said, it's beautiful. I said, and every business owner in this area is as kind as they can be. Bethlehem got overrun. It's just like Gwinnett County. You can't go anywhere. There's so much traffic. There's noise. It's awful. And I said, well, I don't want my grandson to be raised in that environment. And he's 5 months old. I walk him up and down Berkeley every Monday and Friday. It's beautiful. It's quiet. And we're blessed to be there. I'm trying to take into weigh the two things and have empathy for that company too. I know it's a great opportunity. But my only concern is, again, is the red road, Berkeley Road, is the green road, is that our road?
The red. Sorry, not by your house.
So is that where those 25 trucks will be coming day and night up and down that road?
That's correct.
Okay.
Well,
All the way in and out.
but it's not correct if we're not running that many trucks.
Okay, come on. Go ahead.
That was my concern. And again, it's a small 2-lane road. I don't know 10 years ago how, it was maintained or how they did that. But again, I push a 5-month-old in a stroller up and down that road.
How far are you from the actual quarry?
Depending on where the finish line is, I don't know where
Are you within a mile?
I walk it. We crossed the railroad track.
Not from the gate. Not from the gate. I don't know what they're saying a mile, but not from the gate. There's a gate there.
Across the road. It's close.
It's pretty.
It's really close.
Yeah, it's.
Which is a public road.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, anything else?
Appreciate it.
Anyone else? Please come forward.
Evening, Chairman. I'm Tony Moon. It's my brother Jason, who is the actual property owner. We live at 506 Berkeley Road, which is just 2.7 miles from where they've got their fence. First off, I think he tried to explain that or started to. I don't understand how a fence got put up across a public road because there's 1/3 of the road. It has an 8-foot fence with concertina wire over the top, blocking the road, which is a county road. But beside that, where we're talking about the house right there, the first one there, I walk this road 3 to 4 times a week. The entire road is spider webbed, already cracked. They've already cut putwood out of there, which I've called the county 3 times this year, and they've come out and filled potholes. And that's just up on the end where the dollar store is, because it gets a lot of traffic. And regardless, if they say they're going to pull it out on rail, unless there is an ordinance saying that they cannot bring trucks down through there, there's nothing to prevent them from doing so. It's easy to say that, but at the end of the day,
they can pull as many trucks in and out of there once it's approved as they want to. And that's just the facts. So the property value, and I'm a licensed realtor in the state of Georgia, the property value, once those explosions start going off, I can assure you is going to depreciate. There's not going to be jobs coming out of Madison County from this company. The people who, the people who get those jobs are the granite people out of Elberton, or the ones that are currently working on them from there. The $60 million they're investing is in what they're doing there. It's not in the people of Madison County. I did not come here against this. I think if you own some property, you should be able to make a buck. All of that's industrial property. Of course, there's about 6 to 7 plots owned by the same person, but they're all in different LLCs, which is confusing in itself. Why would you have 6 different pieces of property that are under 6 different companies but owned by the same person, the same officer at the top of them? I don't understand that. But it's probably tax purposes. At any rate, we have the noise that's going to be there, which is that's going to definitely depreciate. Everyone that lives on that road, the gentleman that just spoke, he and his family just moved in there, got a beautiful piece of property. But we live 0.27 miles from the gate. I can hear the train roll by, which is basically where the gate is probably 20 to 30 feet past it. I can hear the train rolling by, which is right here, okay? There's where the train's rolling by. Don't you think if they're dynamiting here, what's that gonna do? Because there's quarries almost 1.5 miles away that shake our windows. Now, how that's gonna benefit the people of Madison County, I have no idea. If they're investing $60 million over the next 50 years, they're gonna make a ton of money. We won't be here to see it. But, that's a lot of damage to the road. Who's gonna repair the road? Are they gonna go in there and pave it before they start tearing it up? Because it's already cracked all over the place, and to sit up here and say that road's in great shape is so disingenuous. That road is already spiderwebbed from one end to the other. There was, the last point I wanted to make is I don't know what the geologist says about the water down there, but we had to have another well dug. We had a bored well. We had to go down 300 feet. Plumbing, but we had to go down another, 300 feet with a drilled well just to try to get some good water. Everyone has told me in the granite business up there that that's bad rock. Don't know what bad rock means in the granite business. But I would urge, especially, the commissioner in our area to take this under deep consideration, what it's going to do to the people that voted for you. What it's going to do to their property values and the roads and so on, because it's not going to create jobs. It's going to create profits for the company, but unless they've got a lot of good answers for that, and we came to the wrong meeting really, because I just wanted to come to a meeting where we could get some answers. I don't think we got those, so we'll come to the next one instead.
All right.
Thank y'all.
All right. Anyone else? Anyone else? All right, gentlemen, you want to have any rebuttal, and then we'll move on.
So in addition to the property being zoned for a quarry and being an existing quarry, a couple of notes. The gentleman, thank you for being honest that you knew it was a quarry when you bought your home. You said that. That's what you said. So they all also said that there's already blasting going on at the other quarries. They all admitted to it, right? So We're not doing anything that everyone in this area doesn't already know exists. It already exists. Where the gentleman talked about rail cars making noise, our rail spur where we're loading is over a mile, almost a mile and a half inside the property. They won't hear anything to do with the rail car. Again, this is 812 acres. The reason it's in different LLCs is because we are land stewards. Everything around this is put into conservation, so it can't be touched. So for the deer hunters and other people that love nature, well beyond our years, our great-grandchildren are still going to have all of this conserved area. The only part of this that's a quarry out of 800 acres is a little over 200.
Talk to us, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize, sorry. They're asking questions, I'm sorry. The reason we have the county road is because Madison County deeded it to us. We own that road now. There was a deed presented. That is why we put a fence up, because kids, as I noted earlier, were at the quarries partying, and if they fall off a 100-foot quarry, they're gonna perish. We did the safety and best thing for the entire county and the children of the county that are going out there drinking and having fun like kids do. But we needed to make it to where they couldn't do it. We brought the sheriff out. He saw the needles from the heroin. He saw the broken liquor bottles 5 feet from the quarry ledge. So we went through, like I said, all of the process to where Madison County deeded us that right of way. We now have to take care of that right of way on our nickel, not the county's. It's ours. Okay? So we're doing the best we can for the folks of Madison County. As it relates to jobs, we are hiring people from Madison County. Where else are we going to get people to work the whole plant area, to drive forklift trucks? These are good paying jobs, $25, $30, $40 an hour. In a county where I know, because Tim Hughley, who works has Hughley Granite right up the road in his finishing shed, I know the Hugleys. I know them well. They're great people. And I know the struggles that are going on in those towns, because I know these folks. I physically know people in that area. Sorry I don't know y'all on that road. But let me see what else. I think that's all I got. All right.
And the only other note I have is that the truck traffic is planned to be limited from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., so that would not be 24 hours, just the train schedules are less predictable, and trucks would go out on State Road 72.
And so, good point there. When they ask for the hours, it's simply because of the trains. When the trains come in, we may need people there to let the trains in on our rail. It's not going to be, we're not running a quarry operation 24 hours a day. It's normal business hours, just like the quarry across the road. It's normal business hours.
So you would be okay with a condition that only loading can take place other than those original hours that you requested?
Something along normal quarry business hours? Yes, sir.
Okay. I mean, you know, I think I heard earlier that you said that you wanted to change that from those hours to 24 hours.
We wanted 24-hour access, yes, sir. Because if CSX says we can't get our train there until 2 o'clock in the morning, we need to be able to let them in to where we can have the loop filled.
Okay. Just hoping you understand what I'm saying is that if we decide to put a condition on that you could not operate the quarry, that you could only load the trains during those off hours.
I don't know. I don't know if we do that loading the train because, again, it's 1.5 miles from the property line. Nobody's going to hear it if we have a bulldozer.
I'm not asking if nobody's going to hear it. I'm asking would you be okay with that particular condition?
I can't answer that, sir, because I'm not the gentleman I'm not the $60 million on it.
Okay, all right, understand.
How many employees did you say?
It's going to be somewhere between, depending upon.
14 to 20.
14.
It's actually 15 to 25 is what we're estimating.
So they don't bring in people that they already know that they're doing their other mines?
We're gonna need labor people. And we're not gonna bring in, yes, there's gonna be mining specialists that come in, correct. But for operations and daily operations, those are local folks, just like Tim Hughley's finishing plant right up the road. I don't know if he's still operating it, but any quarry operating plant around here that's finishing shit, they hire local. You can't hire anybody else. You're paying $25, $30 an hour. You can't, you know.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right, we will close the public hearing and we'll bring it back to the board. I will entertain a motion to approve, disapprove, or to approve with conditions. If you don't have any other further discussion among the board.
Guess I'd be interested in, the possibility brought up a condition there with the CSX. I think that's a prudent thing. And then looking at the hours, I think the normal hours that they asked for with a proviso that you can, for shipping, there's extended hours for the CSX, specifically for railroad. Those 2 points, I think, in the condition would make this somewhat more palatable.
Any other comments?
With your comment, you're trying to prevent the noise, the blasting outside of those normal hours.
And that was the point I was trying to make. They had asked for specific hours, okay? Then, now they're coming back and asking for 24 hours.
For rail.
They'll ask us for 24 hours for any purposes. My point was that needs, from my standpoint, and I don't have a vote, but if we did allow additional hours, it would only be for shipping purposes only. Yes. Which could be a condition. Am I correct in that?
Yes, sir. Good.
But can I ask who would monitor that?
Zoning enforcement, just like.
Just like anything else?
Yeah, just like anything else. Code enforcement.
Any further comments or questions from the board at this point? Not, I will entertain a motion.
Mike, I would appreciate some help in the wording to make sure that we put this together where it's appropriate and enforceable. I make a motion to approve with the conditions that Bruce was referencing as far as the business hours / shipping hours, as well as the rail spur needs to be in place.
So that one, the second one is easier. That would be, are you helping me over there? So that one would be, approval of the conditional use permit on condition 1, that a spur line for rail transport be approved and installed. For the hours of operation, well, I don't know what those were in the original application.
You said the spur line for the railroad, for the rail line
Be approved and installed.
approved and installed. Okay, and then the second condition.
I think everybody's looking, or do you have?
Under the original application, what were the hours?
On page 2, it says the quarry would operate Monday through Saturday with hours of operation from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Is that acceptable? Because I got a note from the gentleman watching that are the financiers that that's exactly what they said. I'm sorry.
Sir,
this is for us.
This is for us to decide as a condition
If
that we will present to the Board of Commissioners.
Sorry.
Yes, sir. At that point, you can make your point, and they'll either approve or deny.
So you have until October 6th to look into that, and then you can make that presentation.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So for the wording of that one, I'm thinking out loud, but that, operations be limited to Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., accepting that loading and transport activities can take place beyond those hours. Does that capture it, Bruce?
Was specifically rail, transportation?
Yeah, but you could add, loading, rail transport.
So do we need to put hours on it, like 6 to?
That's 24 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, you put
That was,
24
I think that
hours.
real, that was your intent, right?
Real,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Or 24 hours.
Right.
So can I ask you, they could not open according to MSA, and all of them approved.
I don't know, I have not researched it, I didn't know about this until I got here tonight, but I can tell you that what Mr. Boggs is saying is very typical for things that require state and federal permits. Those applications often require local approval first, because that's very technical stuff. The state and federal agencies often don't want to even start looking at it if the county's going to quash it anyway.
Okay, can someone repeat, or you all can read what the motion would be?
So we've got a first motion by William Smith with the condition that the spur line for the railway be approved and installed, and with a second condition that Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m.
Operations be limited to Monday through Saturday,
Operations
6 to 6.
be limited to.
The hours of operation be limited to Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., except loading and transportation outside of those hours.
Rail loading.
Rail loading.
And transportation are allowed outside those hours.
Okay. So except rail loading and transportation outside of those hours. Got it.
Clear?
Okay, Mr. Smith, that's
Sufficient.
all right. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second with, what has been stated and the conditions that have been stated. Any further comments or questions? All right. I believe it's on you.
Yes.
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 Okay, yes, based on that, I know MFA's got to come in.
Okay. All right, we will recommend to the Board of Commissioners this be approved with the conditions that has been stated. We are a recommending body only. Suggest that you be here on October the 6th to present what you have presented to the Board of Commissioners, all in opposition. I hope that you will be here also to present your opposition to the Board of Commissioners, and they will have the final say. All right? Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you all, I apologize, I didn't know the proper etiquette, I apologize.
Okay.
Have a good evening.
No problem. Moving on, number 8 and 9, I believe have been withdrawn. Item number 10.
Okay, so we've got 3 requests, by George Smith and Peggy Lou, and they are agenda items 10, 11, and 12. I don't know if you guys wanna.
Yes, let's take them all at once if we
One
can.
item.
Yes, sir.
So, I will read you what those are. George Smith and Peggy Luke are requesting to rezone a 9.85 acre portion of their 48.857 acres from A1 to A2 to combine with a 10.76 acre portion from adjoining property, which is on map 26, parcel 57, for a 20.61 acre tract, and to rezone a .11 acre portion from A1 to AR to combine with a portion of adjoining property that is, tax map 26, parcel 26, for a 6 acre tract. The remaining 38.90 acres across the road will stay in the A1 zone. Property is located at 0 Rogers Mill Road in Danielsville, on map 26, parcel 59 in District 1. The second one, application, is George Smith and Peggy Lee are requesting to rezone their 24.36 acres from A1 to A2 to allow a 10.76 acre portion to be combined with a 9.85 acre portion of adjoining property, map 26, parcel 59, leaving this tract with 13.60 acres. Property is located at 0 Rogers Mill Road in Danielsville on map 26, parcel 57 in District 1. And their third one is George Smith and Peggy Lee are requesting to rezone their 23.49 acres from A1 to AR to allow the property to be split in 4 tracts containing 2 6.30 acre tracts, 1 5-acre tract, and 1 6-acre tract. The property is located at 0 Donald Smith Road in Hull on map 26, parcel 26 in District 1.
All right, you Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Evening. This right here will stay in pasture. We withdrew that request. I had a buyer for part of it, and then he couldn't come up with finance and so forth. This right here is, it's gonna stay in production ag for the next several years. Right now, the person that's gonna buy it, he's from Jackson County. He works for USDA, but he intend to keep it in production. He's just buying in case he needs to move out. And somewhere right in here, probably put a driveway right here, let's see, yeah, right here, and put a house somewhere right in here. But the rest will stay in open production, and the woods will stay as wooded area.
Questions from Mr. Smith?
So we're handling all these at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those two right there.
Which are you saying, which are you saying has been withdrawn?
This right here is it's gonna be a separate parcel now, and so y'all it's gonna stay pasture, it's not.
It's gonna stay 38.9 acres. I've already deducted it, because he originally wanted to split that 38.
Okay.
But that contract fell through, so it's gonna stand alone as 38 acres.
But that's not an existing tract, or is it?
It's the
part of an
tract
existing
split by
tract.
the road.
Well, Mr. Gary Harmon, who did the survey, he says in order to consider a separate tract, the way those tax records are.
But they're not.
But they're not.
Right.
Okay, so that's why we're still having to deal with these three. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that makes sense.
And he's combining it with that 10.76 acre portion. So,
And then this back here will stay, wooded unless have a buyer. Right here.
mm-hmm.
May I point something out to you, so that it doesn't become confusing later?
Please do.
So this track originally was this track, this, and this little corner piece. For whatever reason, the county has it as a whole piece. So what he's gonna do is leave this top portion as a parcel. This portion will combine with a portion of this one down here, and this little sliver will be combined into this over here. So I know it's a lot of moving parts. So this triangle will add to that one, this will be standalone, and this will combine with the bottom piece.
And that's what the three applications do. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
So 1 application, 2 applications, 3 applications. Yeah. So it's a lot of moving parts.
Okay, thank you.
So like if it makes it better, we're trying to do them in different ones that highlight it and kind of just show it, but that's why there's 3.
But these are also interrelated, that those
Right.
other two would work without all three.
Correct.
Okay, so
Mhm.
they need to be heard together.
I got a question. Did you have anything else?
Well, I can can sit down for the next one, I guess.
Well, I think we're actually gonna hear these.
We're gonna hear them all together.
So you can go ahead and address all of it if you'd like.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, I think Melissa just did.
Well, the buyers for this property up here, they actually were able to make the needs. This individual, he's, like I said, he's involved with USDA, and he already had a hard permit. This right here, the way, ever since I was little, that's always been with my grandparents' property right there for some reason. I don't know why. Well, I'll tell you why. It was involved with this tract over here. That's why. The road split that little, what is that, like 0.011?
011.
Yeah.
So actually, this parcel right here is gonna be combined with the 6-acre tract and then the other 5-acre tract right here.
Okay. Ready? You have a question?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you scroll that back up? The easement
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
that you have there, I noticed that it's surveyed out as 50 feet wide,
That was what Gary,
1,213 feet long,
yeah.
which amounts to about 1.4 acres. And I'm bringing this up because it seems to me, if I were, I know all this property's for sale. If I buy that piece of property, I know that we tend not to want flag lots, especially stacked flag lots, for a reason. And I guess that piece of property down there on the low end it has been a landlocked parcel, but now we're kind of rearranging the property lines. It's still gonna be a landlocked parcel.
Yes.
So instead of putting an easement across someone else's property, since we're rearranging and making new parcels here, that the owner of that property is going to be faced with 1.4 acres that someone else is gonna use, but he's gotta pay taxes on it. It seems to me like we just need to allow, if you wanna call it a flag lot, whatever, instead of a 50-foot easement, make it a 50-foot ownership extension of that piece of property down there to give
This
them
road
road,
back there with that.
to give them road frontage. I mean, that just seems like a deterrent for the person that's owning that property to have to.
However, that's not what our current zoning ordinance says.
Because Mr. Gary
We won't allow
spoke with,
You can have a 30-foot easement, and at least this is 50.
Yeah.
But if you're actually gonna have road frontage, it's gotta be 150. And I understand, but, you know, in all fairness to Mr. Smith, you and I agree 100% on how nonsensical that is. That he and his surveyor are dealing with the ordinance that the county has now, not the one you and I at least wish they had.
Okay. I was just hoping.
The way you can do
we could
it,
make an exception. I mean,
you can do that with a variance.
That seemed ridiculous to me.
You could do a variance on the lot width requirement.
But that's something
And I
you
think,
need
I'm looking at Melissa and Tracy, that would require a separate application for a variance, which would mean re-advertising and putting us back
I
in
guess
another
bottom
cycle.
line is, if it's that important to you, you would have to initiate the variance for
well,
consideration.
the person buying would not like to have that whatsoever. But I have been approached by another individual that his property joins back here. And I've reached out twice and haven't heard anything, so.
Gotcha.
Any further questions for Mr. Smith? All right,
So I just wanna know
that's
that-
two of them, right?
That property right there would not deal with at all on my right.
We're
No,
dealing with
no,
all of it.
We're not dealing with that at all.
No, she's saying we're dealing with all.
Everything on the paper is what's up for rezone.
Okay, I thought that was not being sold, so.
But this right here still gonna stay A1, right?
But it's part of, on the zoning and tax records, it's part of it's part of all that yellow tract is a single tract.
Okay.
So that's why it's involved to split out just that part that's on the right side.
So that,
Right, Mr. Smith?
Yes.
so, okay, that doesn't make it two
It has-
parcels?
It has to go through the rezone process to get a new parcel ID.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna say that's what it's saying.
Okay, is that 10 and 11?
And 12, right?
No, 12 is separate. Well, 12 is up
It's
here.
part of that, yeah.
12 is up here.
Yeah. 12 of those new parcels up there.
Next highlight. Okay, so then that's rezone 2. Just for everybody, that would be
Or
number
11.
11.
11,
Yes.
right.
I thought maybe seeing it highlighted might make it a little more
It will.
clear.
For me, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Then there is 12.
That's 12, okay. Any further questions? All right. Open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? For these three together?
Good evening. My name is Peyton Wilkie. This is my husband, Clay Wilkie. We are interested in buying this piece, and then his parents are interested in buying this piece. And we would just like to put a house and some horses. That's about it. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else in favor of? Is there anyone in opposition to? Anyone want to speak in opposition to?
I'll step forward. Matthew Hatala.
Okay.
My property is not on that map, but next door to George's. And I'm just looking for more clarification about what's going to happen with the land. There was some confusion whether it's going to be two pieces were joined. One was outlined in yellow, one was zigzag. How much acreage, George, are you selling up front next door?
On the right, all that's gonna say pasture right now.
Well,
That's on the other side of the road.
right. You're talking about this.
Yes. Right there is yours.
Right here's my.
Gentlemen, if you could please show us on this end over here where we can see.
Right here's Mr. Atala's driveway, and somewhere right in there would be his home dwelling. All that is gonna go, and then this right here.
Is that being sold as one parcel?
Well, yes, 21 point, where?
Yeah, they're combining 9.85 with 10.76 acres. So it'll be,
All open field, and then like 6 acres of wood back here.
So it'll be one parcel, not two.
10.61 acres there. As one tract.
And I'll make a comment on the easement also. That's in the wrong position. That's a dangerous curve in the road.
Yes.
We get cars taken out of our mailboxes a couple times, every year or two. It's a bad place for the easement. And if he were building a house back up here, I'd pull it in off the road.
That's where he intends to put his driveway. And it's not gonna be up there at the corner road
So what's the easement for then?
to get back here.
Why not have the easement come down this way?
Well.
I mean, you know as well as I do.
Well, gentlemen, that's something can be discussed at
That's true.
a later date. We're not here to.
As the plan stands, I'm in opposing of the easement.
Okay.
Just for safety and for the effect of the land, I've been there 40 years. This is an upheaval.
It's, that's my take.
Thank you for coming forward and,
Point out
anyone else?
where your property is,
Anyone else in opposition?
down on that side. Okay. And those properties that go down, those are the same.
Excuse me, okay. We have to move on. Anyone else in opposition? Anyone else in opposition? Hearing none, I'm bringing it back before the board, folks. Close the public hearing, bring it back before the board and ask for a motion. Approve, disapprove, or approve with conditions.
Mr. Chairman, I move to be approved.
A motion to approve?
Second.
I have a second. Any further discussion from the board? All right, Smith?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, this has been approved, from this board, and we will present to the Board of Commissioners, October 6th. I suggest you be right back here to present your case to the Board of Commissioners, and, sir, you're in opposition. Please come. All right, number 13.
Okay.
It'll be 12.
Mhm,
We've
that
already
was
done
12.
12.
I'm sorry.
All right, so,
No, I'm Tracy Allgood. I'm on the other side of the pond.
Excuse me, sir. We're trying to finish here.
all right, so the Madison County Board of Commissioners, applicant for Interstate 85 services, is requesting to rezone the 6.09 acre property from industrial with conditions to industrial with conditions to revise.
Excuse me. Ma'am, sir, please.
If y'all don't mind, I mean, you're welcome to go out in the hall and continue the conversation, but it's a little loud for up here.
Yes, sorry. All right, go ahead, Mr.
Okay, so to revise the condition placed on the property during the original 2022 rezone to industrial. The condition prohibiting the storage and manufacturing of hazardous materials on the property, with the exception of the storage of compressed gases only. Property is located at 11270 Highway 98 West, Mount 2, parcel 604 in District 1. So there's no one in attendance to speak on behalf, as it was a VOC initiated request. And actually, the motion would actually be to approve or deny the rezoning of the property from industrial with conditions to industrial with conditions, that said property shall not be used for manufacturing or storage of hazardous materials, excepting, however, that storage is permitted of compressed gases regulated by OSHA standards for the compressed gases and equipment for general industry, maritime, and construction.
All right. We don't have anybody here to close the public hearing. I entertain a motion.
So the condition only goes with the property.
Correct.
And if somebody buys it, they can only put material gas or gas. They can only store gas.
Right, no manufacturing of any hazardous material and no storage of any hazardous material
Except for gas.
those specific compressed gases.
Yeah.
And I defer, Mr. Mitchell's experience as a fireman, I'm sure was very helpful in that. I don't know as much of the details.
I just wanted to know if somebody bought the property, they can only store gas.
Only that condition, doesn't matter who owns it.
Okay.
All right. Well, is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
A motion to approve?
Second.
Have a second. Further discussion? All right. Andy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, that has been approved. The next thing on this thing says adjourn, but I want to make a request that our business meeting, please put on the agenda, I like to discuss auction bonds and livestock sales provision. Provisions.
Auction bonds.
Yes. Consideration of changing the wording of those to include conditions or whatever.
And I do have another announcement too.
Okay?
Okay. Now, I sent an email out to you guys before I left here, but you probably all got an email from Christina Baxter back in August the 5th with this final draft approval for the UDC.
Mm-hmm.
So Chairman Higdon was hoping for that to be discussed, or, number one, Mike, does that have to be advertised, that,
Oh, yeah, that's,
okay.
absolutely.
So his original plan was to have it approved by our board and approved by his board for the October agenda meeting. And, but that's impossible for me to do with the schedule and everything here.
This is a text amendment. It has to follow the same rules as anything else.
Okay, all right, so.
It's a text amendment possible. It's a whole new text.
Okay, so that would, the board is left now with the task of reviewing this new UDC. So in order for us to have a meeting to discuss it, that would have to fall on our 10/7 meeting, and then we would have to vote on it at our 10/20 meeting. So Todd was originally wanting his board to vote on it by the 1st of October, so it just can't possibly be done.
And if y'all want to talk with CPL and get their opinion on bypassing the planning commission, that's not really carved out in the existing zoning ordinance. If memory serves, it is carved out in the new zoning ordinance. The text amendments will not have to go through the planning commission, and that's pretty common, I think, on more modern ordinances. If CPL wants to opine, if that's okay, I defer, but.
Well, it sounds like to me that they've got a group formed that has been with CPL from the beginning to go over all this stuff, so it's just repetitive to go back through this board, because it would take more than one meeting to go over all of that, what's changes and stuff that they're proposing.
And it's a 272-page document.
So
that's something I would defer, and if CPL wants to talk to me directly, I'm glad to do that. But I have not been involved in any discussions. This is the first I've heard about skipping the planning commission process. I'm happy to talk with them, the planning commission hearing, and just having one hearing at the Board of Commissioners. I'm happy to talk with CPL. They may have some background on that. We may be able to get comfortable with that, but I'm not prepared to say that tonight.
Well, before I left the office, I sent Todd an email, and I copied you in it, telling him it couldn't be done until those dates, and was he okay with it not being able to be passed until the BOC 11-3 vote? So he's gonna let me know. But
okay. Again, I'm not saying yay or nay right now. I'm just saying I'm
Okay.
not prepared to address that, because Nobody asked me that question until you just did.
Exactly, and I didn't know it.
I understand, I'm blaming you.
I've been out of the office since Thursday. Today was my first day back. I
Oh.
had dental implant surgery, and
Bless
I'm
you.
in horrible pain right now.
Okay.
But, so I haven't been with it. I've been doing it, one email and phone call and appointments after another.
My gosh, okay,
All day.
sorry.
You know, I think that's something you and Todd can need to discuss or,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to look into it if somebody wants me to.
All righty, well, I'll see what he says.
And I'd love to call the CPL about it too.
Yes, okay.
So we don't have to worry about
all right, anything else? Folks, thank you for your patience. Tonight has been taxing, I know, but, you know, I think we've handled it quite well.
I think you did a remarkable job.
Thank you. So, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman, I still move.
I'll second.
Oh,